The iPhone 8 and iPhone 8 Plus are now on sale, and there are important differences between them, but you will have to wait longer for the iPhone X, which is by far the most interesting of Apple's new iPhones. But the iPhone X is also over 40% more expensive than the iPhone 8, so is it worth the substantial extra outlay? Let's break it down. There's only one place to start when comparing the iPhone X and iPhone 8, their displays. iPhone X, 5.8-inch 18.5 to 9 True Tone OLED, 2436 by 1125 pixels, 458 82.9% screen-to-body ratio. iPhone 8 to 4.7-inch 16 to 9 True Tone LCD, 1334 by 750 pixels, 326 pip 65.6% screen-to-body ratio. The difference couldn't be more stark. The iPhone X display is dramatically larger, though an 18.5 to 9 aspect ratio also means it is more elongated, while the shift to OLED delivers a much greater contrast ratio, 1,000,000:1 versus 1,400 to 1, and power savings. Meanwhile, the increased resolution and pixel density of the iPhone X are the highest ever seen on an iPhone. Where the iPhone 8 does match the iPhone X's support for Apple's True Tone technology, which color balances against ambient light for greater accuracy, and high dynamic range (HDR) content, which is appearing on iTunes, Netflix, and Amazon. It is also worth noting the iPhone X is merely playing catch-up to its rivals with the Samsung Galaxy S8, LG G6 and, incoming, Google Pixel 2 XL, all delivering similar specifications this year, as well as higher 2K, 2960 by 1440 resolutions. Comparing iPhone X and iPhone 8 screen sizes suggests the former should be huge, but another highlight of Apple's flagship phone is how compact it is. iPhone X, 143.6 by 70.9 by 7.7 mm, 5.65 by 2.79 by 0.30 in, and 174 grams, 6.14 ounces. iPhone 8 to 138.4 by 67.3 by 7.3 mm, 5.45 by 2.65 by 0.29 in, and 148 grams, 5.22 ounces. Yes, the iPhone X may be slightly taller than the iPhone 8, but it is barely any wider or thicker and only 17% heavier. Contrast this also with the 5.5-inch iPhone 8 Plus, 158.4 by 78.1 by 7.5 mm, 6.28 by 3.07 by 0.32 in, and 202 grams, 6.63 ounces, and it emphasizes why the removal of the top and bottom bezels on the iPhone X is such a big deal. But the iPhone X is not perfect. Its display has a large notch at the top for Face ID, more about this in the performance section, which makes viewing full-screen photos and video a little odd, and it has lost the Touch ID fingerprint sensor altogether to free up the front of the phone for that massive display. This is going to alienate some users. Furthermore, both the iPhone X and iPhone 8 share several design similarities. Both have glass backs which enable wireless charging to be added for the first time. More in the battery life section. IP67 water and dust resistance, allowing full submersion in up to 1 meter of water for 30 minutes, and Rigid Series 7000 aluminium in their chassis. Both also retain the Lightning port. When there were faint hopes Apple would move to USB-C, and stereo speakers which are 25% louder than the iPhone 7. Lastly, the iPhone X only comes in silver and space gray, while the iPhone 8 adds gold to these options. Both will presumably have product red limited editions at some stage. iPhone 8, Apple A11 Bionic chipset, 6-core CPU, 6-core GPU, M11 Motion Go processor, 3GB RAM, iPhone X, 2GB RAM, iPhone 8. The extra RAM may seem important, But with the iPhone 8 driving a lower resolution screen and a single lens camera, again more in the camera section, the real-world performance of the two iPhones will be pretty much identical. And that performance will be industry-leading. Apple claims their A11 chipsets deliver 25% faster CPU and 30% faster GPU, graphics, performance than the A10 in the iPhone 7 and iPhone 7 Plus. The A11 is also 70% faster when multitasking. Given the iPhone 7 and iPhone 7 Plus remain the most powerful smartphones around, the iPhone X and iPhone 8 will only see Apple extend its lead at the top of the performance chart. But what about the bionic part? This is where the iPhone X stands out. While Apple has controversially removed Touch ID from the iPhone X, it has been replaced by something the company claims is just as fast and even more secure: Face ID facial recognition. To date, facial recognition used by the likes of Samsung has been poor, but the bionic chip in combination with new sensors on the front of the iPhone iPhone X. Though the larger question is whether Apple can again compete for the smartphone camera crown which Samsung and Google have dominated in recent years. Disappoint is its battery life. Apple has stagnated with the iPhone 6, iPhone 6s and iPhone 7 all having similar stamina, and history repeats as Apple admits there has been no tangible improvement between the iPhone 7 and iPhone 8. But the iPhone X is different. It's not a major improvement, but Apple claims the iPhone X will last up to 2 hours longer than iPhone 7, and, while it isn't clear where this number comes from, Apple's spec page shows the main boosts are to talk time and audio playback. Rather more exciting, however, is charging. Apple finally added wireless charging and wired quick charging to all its new iPhones. The former works with Qi chargers, though only at a slow 7.5 watts, while the latter delivers up to 50% charge, from flat, in just 30 minutes. The problem is Apple doesn't supply quick chargers in the box and they are expensive. This becomes a bigger problem when you look at the price rises for the new iPhones themselves. The iPhone 8 has increased $50 against the iPhone 7. The iPhone X takes Apple's pricing into a whole new stratosphere. iPhone X minus 64 GB, $999, 256 GB, $1,149. iPhone 8 to 64GB, $699, 256GB, $849. Yes, the iPhone X is a massive $300 more expensive than the iPhone 8 and $200 more than the iPhone 8 Plus at the same storage capacities, and all these prices are before tax. Again, this makes Apple's omission of a fast charger in the box quite extraordinary, and the fast chargers don't come with a cable, which in turn is different from the cable Apple bundles with the phones. Whether these prices are justifiable will be entirely down to each customer's bank balance, but most will gain some solace from spreading the cost over a 2-year carrier contract. Note, if you do go for the iPhone X, stock will be extremely limited throughout 2017 and shortages will extend well into 2018. At least this gives you more time to save up.